I'm trying again. It's Friday. We don't usually do Instagram lives on Fridays, but something really important came up, and that's why I want to welcome today's guest. Her name is Christy Keating, and she is the founder. Okay, Christy, I see you. Let me try to get you on here this time. Um, she's the founder of the Heartful Parent Collective and the host of the Safe Parenting Summit, which is starting next week, that I am doing for the first time. She's doing for at least the second or third time. And I really hope we can get her on because I want her to talk about this Safe Parenting Summit. But I don't know why she's not popping up. Oh, Christy, I don't know what to do. Anyway, it starts next week. It's free. I can't remember how many speakers. I don't know why. It's like 28 speakers that I have that number in my head, but it's all kinds of people. All right, Christy, I see this request to join. Let's see if that's to do with keeping your kids safe and healthy, emotionally healthy. I know a lot of our clients are dealing with,
Did it work?
Yes. I'm like, how long can I keep babbling?
No, you're doing such a great job. And I don't know why my phone is being funky this morning, but it is what
All
it
right.
is sometimes.
So Christy, tell us, in just a couple minutes, what is this Safe Parenting Summit? I'm so excited. This was my first summit that I did where I talked about parenting instead of legal abuse and high conflict divorce, even though that blended in. But tell us about what's coming up next week.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'll share a little bit of background first and how this kind of came about, because I'm a certified parent coach. I work, I'm a positive discipline educator. I do all this work with parents sort of day in and day out.
Legal background too, right?
Yeah, I'm also a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I spent almost 20 years working as a criminal prosecutor, where my specialty was prosecuting. I mean, I prosecuted like pretty much every crime under the sun, but my specialty in the latter part of my career was prosecuting sex offenders and sexually violent predators. So when I left the law, I mean, I still keep my law license, but I'm gratefully not practicing. And so when I left my, legal practice, I did this complete 180, started working with parents, got certified as a parent coach, but I wanted to keep a piece of that work. And so I do a lot of prevention work. I'm a board member for the National Coalition to Prevent Child Sexual Abuse and Exploitation. I do a lot of teaching at schools, professional and for parents, about keeping children safe from child sexual abuse. And about 2 years ago, I had this realization that parents weren't getting the information that they needed. And that's kind of the way that the Safe Parenting Summit was born. But when I started thinking about safety, I thought about it really globally, because, parents don't know, for example, like what you're talking about, how to model and teach healthy relationships to kids. They don't know how to protect them from, or talk to them about drug and alcohol usage and misusage. They don't know how to, like, what trafficking really means and how to prevent that. So they don't even know how to talk to them about sex.
No, but they're scared. They're scared.
But they're so scared. And then there was the flip side of it, which I was seeing that we were like worried about things that we didn't need to be worried about. Mm-hmm. And that I see a huge need to build a safer world for our kids. So that's how the Safe Parenting Summit came about. And our second annual Safe Parenting Summit is happening next week, May 6th to the 10th, with, I have to look at our final count. There's like 28 experts.
I got the number
coming in.
Right. I was like 20.
I think you did. Yeah, they're coming in and talking about all different aspects of safety. And it's for parents of kids from the ages of 2 all the way up through the age of 16. So we've got some presentations that are like sort of targeted toward the younger years, some that are targeted towards those tween and teen years, and then some that really just are for every parent. And I'm so excited to give parents information that can make their life easier, better, and make their kids safer.
Yeah, I know. And we're not just talking about physical safety, but emotional safety. And especially because you and I had the conversation about relationship safety.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's not all sort of the really scary stuff like child sexual abuse. It's also what I call brain safe parenting, which is how do we interact with our kids in a way that builds connection and relationship and helps them, first of all, as you say, like see what a healthy relationship looks like and then enter their, adult years, young adult years, kind of ready to take on the world because they are brain safe and body safe.
Yeah, I mean, and for me with the educational background, I mean, everything that we do comes from an educational perspective. My master's in education. I feel like education is such a high priority. That's how we change things,
Yes.
is we get to our youth, and not just our youth, but our parents as well, is like, these are the things that we have agency over. These are the things we can control. Like we can, pass on knowledge to help people learn to do things differently. Like the mistakes we made. This is how Been There Got Out was born.
Yes.
Like you learn and then you pass on the knowledge.
Yeah. And I'm a 100% believer that we as parents have so much power to shape the way that the world unfolds for our kids and the things that they take into their adult years with them. And I think there's a lot of untapped power there that parents don't know how to lean into, they don't know how to use. And it's really positive power. Like I want to use that word in a positive way
Mm-hmm.
because we can help. I mean, there's obviously never 100% guarantee in life, right? Like we can't ever make that guarantee, but we can help our children learn how to show up in a healthy relationship, how to connect, how to set boundaries, how to keep their body safe. And I will say, when it comes to body safety, that really is an adult job, right? A child is never responsible for something that happens to them, but they still need information and tools. And the Safe Parenting Summit is designed to make sure that parents know what they need to know so that kids can learn what they need to learn.
Yeah, we have a comment here, and I don't know how much time you have, Christy, to talk about it, but it says we need something like this. We're currently trying to be the safe parents from a narcissistic mother who is absolutely hurting the kids' mental health. Like that is what we talk about as well. And people get so scared. I also was scared thinking, oh, my kids are going to be ruined because of this experience or because of who their other parent is. And so many of us feel that way in the same, whether it's male or female. When you have a toxic parent, an abusive parent, it's like not only are they affecting the kids, but what if the kids are learning these terrible behaviors? And everything I hear, all the research that we've done says they need one, if they have one healthy parent, then they have a real strong chance of doing better. But part of that being a healthy parent is learning how to regulate yourself, like
Yes.
getting yourself
Yeah.
in a good place so that you can co-regulate with your kids and help them process their experiences.
Well,
so it's not just like something outside of you, and that comes back to like understanding what you need to do to be in the right place.
100%. I often say to my clients, and I certainly have had clients that have been in high conflict divorce situations, but it's not my focus like it is yours. But we often talk about that we have to control what we can control, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that what we can control is ourselves and the way that we are interacting with our children and what we are giving them. And that's why it was so important to me, Lisa, to have you as a part of the summit, because I've been aware of your work for quite some time now, and was so happy when we connected because I felt like last year in the summit, this was a big missing piece, which is this relationship piece and how we help our kids have healthier relationships than maybe we had. I'm sorry, my voice is getting all crackly this morning, but that just feels like such an important piece of building a healthier world for our kids. And so you and I talk about that. And then we also, I will point out, so the summit is totally free to attend, which is the best thing about it. People can register at, well, Lisa, do you want to drop your link?
Yep.
Lisa will drop her link where you can register. And then for folks that are interested, if you're like, wow, that's a lot of speakers to listen to in one week and sort of digest, and it is. So when you register, you'll immediately be given an opportunity to upgrade to what we're calling the very important parent pass. It's only $67 and it gives you like, and that's what, like the cost of a pizza dinner.
Right.
I mean, right? And it gives you lifetime access to all of the videos, but it also gives you some really cool bonuses. And Lisa and I did a bonus interview where we dive in even deeper to this stuff. And the only way to get that is with that VIP pass. And it's really, really valuable.
Yeah. And, Christy, like I told you that the topic of our current book and online course, part of it is how to deal when a toxic ex is trying to brainwash the kids against you. Tips for parents, whether it's in court or in life, like tips for parents, like what do I do? Because this is one of the most common things we see in our community. And I know a lot of people aren't interested because they feel so helpless, and it's so heartbreaking when you see a kid's mind starting to get confused and like turning against you. It's terrifying. So that's part of safety as well, is understanding how to combat that effectively. And I think we talk about how it's not just about, I got to tell the kids the truth, because it doesn't work when you're dealing with something that's almost like the brainwashing that goes on within a cult. Because again, parents have a lot of influence on their kids.
They do. And that, you're absolutely right that all of that folds into safety. And for those parents who are finding themselves in those really toxic situations, like you work with so beautifully, this is a perfect sort of extra learning and growth opportunity for parents to dive into. Yeah, you might not be able to control what the ex is doing, but you can control what's happening in your home with your interactions and how you're talking to kids about all these, about relationships, but also about all this other stuff, right? That comes into play. And we talk about, one of our speakers in the summits talking about adverse childhood experiences, which we know divorce is one of them or can be one of them. And so she talks about, how do we manage those? And then actually it's really interesting. In her VIP interview, we talk about what are called positive childhood experiences and how it's really cool research that is coming out, and how we can really as parents counteract when those adverse childhood experiences happen. So that might be another one that's of particular interest to folks who follow your work.
Definitely.
Because we are, right? We are so, I know when you're in that place of desperation, you want to do everything you can to help your kids like come out on the other side in a positive way. So much good content. And I really hope that folks will join us next week.
Yeah. I mean, Christy, what you're doing is you're basically helping people hopefully start to learn how to stop the cycle of intergenerational trauma.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is a big deal.
It is a big deal. And that really is the heart behind this. When I worked as a prosecutor for 20 years, like I loved my job and I worked really hard at it, but I felt like I was, whether I was dealing with, interpersonal violence, domestic violence, or sexual assault, or whatever it was, I felt like I was always dealing with the problems after the fact, right? After it had happened. And the thing that I love about the work that I get to do now, and with the Safe Parenting Summit, is help parents avoid things before they happen. And really and help our children avoid things before they happen, which is how we break that cycle. Right. So it's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, I am really excited for next week, Christy, and I'm so glad that I'm honored that you invited me to be part of this.
Well, Lisa, I'm honored that you said yes. Like, I know you didn't know me before we started this journey, and I was so thrilled when I got your email saying yes. And I have to think back. I think you were the first one of the first ones I reached out to, and the first, like, yes, I'm totally in. And you were, sorry, my dog is going to bark now. You were so excited about it. So I'm thrilled to have you as a part of it, thrilled to be doing this summit next week. And I hope we see everybody there.
Yes, for sure. Your dog is thrilled too.
Yeah,
it's like, yes. All right.
All
So,
right.
Christy, it was great seeing you, and we'll catch up again soon.
Sounds great. Have a great weekend,
Okay.
everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.